People who speak multiple languages. Have you ever had any funny experiences when someone didn't expect you to understand their language? I'm American, but can read and speak Russian at an intermediate level. A few years ago, while visiting St. Petersburg, I was buying tickets for the hydrofoil to Peterhof. All the signs at the ticket booth were in Russian, and I could read the ticket prices. The ticket agent assumed I didn't know Russian and tried to tell me the ticket cost 3 times more than the stated price. I looked her right in the eye and said in Russian, "I see on the board here that the ticket I want is X rubles." Her jaw dropped, and the ticket agent sitting next to her started laughing her ass off. I've heard this is pretty common in Russia. You have your local prices and your tourist prices. Said something like, "You need to be careful when talking shit about someone in your native language. There might always be someone who understands you," in German while I was in Italy. A woman who was walking by responded, "Like me," for example. There was this Chinese joint near our college dorms where everyone spoke Chinese. And even though I know Chinese too, I always talk to them in English because I'm kinda shy about my accent. So usually I'd get rice with meat there, but this time I already had rice at home, so I decided to just grab some meat. I walk in, place my order without rice, hand over the money. Then I hear the cashier yelling to the kitchen staff in Chinese, "This fat ass just wants meat, no rice." I heard it loud and clear, so I chimed in Chinese this time. "Exactly, I've got plenty of rice at home." Ever since then, they always hook me up with extra. And by the way, they didn't even charge me for that order. My friend and I were trying to get home after getting wasted, but the ride was long and we didn't have much money. So we found a couple of random chicks who also needed to go the same way and suggested we all share a cab. They agreed. We called a taxi and off we went. Then they suddenly started speaking Swedish, not knowing that my friend is half Finnish, half Swedish. I also understand Swedish, but at that point I was so drunk I just didn't give a shit. Suddenly I get a text from my friend. "They're not planning to pay for the cab." I text back, "Maybe you should tell the driver." My friend turns to the driver and says, "Don't let these 2 ladies out until they hand over their half." He got the hint, locked all the doors, and they ended up having to pay. I lived in South Korea for 3 years, but barely learned any Korean. On the bright side, during that time, I met this Korean girl who spoke English, and everyone thought she wasn't local because she was super tall and had a heavy American accent she picked up while studying in the US and New Zealand. Anyway, when she went on to study at an international university in South Korea, her professors assumed she couldn't speak Korean at all, so they would straight up insult her right in front of her. She felt super awkward about it. She didn't let it show and just put up with it for a whole year, until graduation day. At the graduation ceremony, she got up on stage in front of 800 people and gave a speech in flawless Korean, casually bringing up how her professors used to call her a foreign pig. Witnesses say one of the professors broke down crying from shame right then and there. Damn, I wish I could have seen that. When I got a job at McDonald's at 16, I ended up with a Spanish-speaking crew, and none of them had any idea that I actually spoke Spanish pretty damn well too. Sometimes these guys would say some really nasty shit about me in Spanish, but I just pretended I didn't get it. This went on for a few weeks until one day a manager came up to me and told me that he was more valued than I was because he knew 2 languages. So I immediately hit him with, in Spanish, "Cool, but I know 3. The dude just fucking short-circuited when he realized I'd been understanding all their little chats the whole damn time. I'm half Peruvian, half Swiss, but I live in Peru. By the way I look, you'd never guess there's anything Swiss about me. One time I'm riding the bus and I hear these 2 Swiss girls sitting behind me, chatting about how hot Latinos are. Suddenly one of them asks the other if she thinks I'm good looking. I don't even wait for an answer. I just whip around and go, "Yeah, I'm curious about that too." It was fucking hilarious. The looks on their faces were priceless. There was shame, confusion, the whole damn package. But hey, now I've got 2 new friends. Edit. They were speaking in Swiss German, Schweizerdeutsch. Edit 2. Later, they admitted they both thought I was hot. While I was in Germany, a friend of mine who teaches English, She works at a middle school, invited me to sit in on one of her classes. She introduced me to the students, I said hello, told them I was from the US, and that I was happy to sit in on their lesson. Then my friend goes, "Guys, feel free to ask him questions in English. What do you think Americans are like anyway?" Some kid sitting at the front decided to be a smartass and muttered in German, "Fat and stupid." He tried to say it quietly, but his little outburst ended up being heard by everyone. The teacher turned red. The kids burst out laughing. I had no idea what to do, so I quickly switched to German. You're right. And a lot of Americans also speak German. The kid damn near shit himself. In that moment, he looked like a little deer that had accidentally wandered onto a Beyoncé concert stage. He genuinely couldn't believe that an American could actually understand German. Thanks a lot for watching. Drop a comment under the video if you've ever had a funny moment when someone didn't expect you to understand their language. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See ya.